Howdy. Today I'm over here in Bosque County, Texas, and I'm going to tell you what I know about an old ghost town. I mean, this ghost town's so ghosty, there's really not a whole lot left. No buildings left, but there's a story that somebody told me several years ago about Cedron, Texas, and I'm going to pass that along to you today. Now, first off, all that's really left of Cedron is the cemetery and an old foundation from a school. And those were about a half a mile from where the village originally was. So I'm going to turn this camera around, and then we'll talk a little bit about that and about why I came out here to share this with you. There's a pretty good old story, you know. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but something that somebody told me who may know something about this place, and I'll share that with you in a minute. Okay, got this thing flipped around. Hope it's recording. Here you can see the sign for the cemetery. Now this cemetery is on actually private property now, but they leave a path to get down here. I believe it's still in use. There's still people that have gotten buried here and whatnot. In the mid 1800s, thought about 1850 or so, there was a group of settlers that started a settlement here. They've got this, what I'm showing you right now is the foundation from the old schoolhouse and community center and whatnot. This is all that's left of that. At any rate, at one time I believe it had a couple of hundred residents, and Cedron was mostly farmers and ranchers, and the thing grew. They gained a few more people, I guess, as time went on, but they had a lot of trouble in this area. I guess they didn't get along with the Native Americans, or the Native Americans didn't get along with them so well, and so there were several skirmishes that happened out here, right in this area, between the people who had moved here, the settlers, and the Native American people. Now, I was down here about 10 years ago, must have been about 10 years ago, and there's a historical marker up on the road that points back this way, so I had come to check it out, see if I can get the gate undone here. And anyways, there just happened to be a ranch hand here who had a few of his friends with him, and he was showing them the cemetery. This is all on a big ranch, so he was showing the friends of his the cemetery, and he told me this story. Now there, he told me this story, and I'll share it with you. Now, there's a lot of 100-plus-year-old graves out here, first off. There's now this person passed away in 1935. Here we've got 1914, that's over 100. 1921, it's over 100. There's one from 62, 2 years after I was born. We've got this one, it's like it's all been concreted over. And it's another beautiful, peaceful place. I kind of like exploring cemeteries. It's just, I just think about the people here and the lives they lived, and on, and that's just a gorgeous place to come. 1909 passed away, 1900 passed away. Anyway, so I'm out here walking around checking out the cemetery. Here's one of these woodsmen of the world or something. Woodsmen of the world. They get special headstones. So, okay, so here we go with the story. You can see they got some fresh graves out here as well. I'm out here walking around, and the ranch hand comes up, and he's got some friends with him. I think they'd been at some sort of event or company picnic or something, so they weren't feeling no pain, and he'd had probably a couple of beers. Now, not nothing, like ignorant drunk or something, but they were all in a pretty good mood, laughing and joking with each other. And he came over to me and said, "Hey, and how'd you wind up over here?" And I said, "Well, I just followed the signs. I was reading the historical marker on the road, and I came on back to see what it was about." And he told me that people won't come in this cemetery at night. And he told me that it's probably the most haunted place in Texas, bar none. Now, what he said was, and this is what he told me, he said they had several skirmishes with Native Americans out here when the pioneers first moved out here. And he said that during the early years of Cedron, Texas, he said, they started this cemetery, but they only put wooden crosses and whatnot in there. So it's thought there's graves here going back to 1850. Well, when they started having skirmishes with these Native Americans, some of the Indians got killed, and they would bury them along the perimeter of the cemetery. So these outer walls, and they didn't mark the graves, but they did dig graves and bury them along the perimeter, the outer edge of the cemetery going around. It is thought that the spirits of some of these people are still roaming around here, and they claim to have seen all kinds of weird stuff in here at night. Orbs flashing around this way and that way, and they claim to have seen even like apparitions, zipping across the cemetery and this and that. Anyways, I haven't ever been out here at night, have no idea how much truth there is to this, but this is what this guy told me. He said this place is like haunted beyond belief. And if you go around the perimeter, the outer edge, you'll notice they're keeping all these graves backed off a little bit from the edge of the cemetery. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. We would really have to, there's no plot map, there's no real record of exactly where any of these graves may be. I suppose if somebody was interested enough and used some ground penetrating radar or something like that, maybe they would be able to locate them. But that's the deal. They say that there were Indian remains. They were treated with dignity and given a Christian burial according to the legend, but they still roam this place at night, and and so people just avoid this place like the plague once the sun goes down. So, is this place haunted? Has anybody out there ever heard of any of these stories about Cedron, Texas, or the Cedron Cemetery, Cedron Creek? If you know anything about it, hey, leave a comment in the down below, and maybe I can dig in and find out a little bit more. But as far as I know, it's a pretty well-known thing here locally, and maybe not a well-known thing beyond that. So anyways, Cedron Creek Cemetery, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.